director.
Because our company was New Horizons Institute, and that's why I was when you said that, I'm saying, okay, yeah, because that's one of the, when we started our business, that's one of the first things. There were people like, too many New Horizons coming out. Like, okay, let's call it New Horizons Institute, and so we've been around for a while.
Man,
So,
well, this is one of our apprentices here.
hey,
David, Josh.
how you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
How you doing?
Hey man, if you can't jump in and see if you can record, I want to talk to this young man here for a few more minutes.
You from my phone or the red?
The red, yeah. So, but yeah, man, just one of the things that I said I want to help you, but I need help in terms of getting more case studies, more organizations who are doing this work. We got to identify them, put them in a database, and then start to figure out how we can braid all this funding together in one place so that you can actually take advantage of it. We got so much money, but nobody's taking advantage of it.
So the CEO and I talked briefly at the entertainment and autism.
I didn't even know about it.
Entertainment and autism.
Well,
they did it at the Scoville Center. It was huge.
Okay, so the reason why I'm getting into this thing late is because I'm doing way too many things. So the majority of what I'm trying to do is to find, through these 5 events, I'm trying to find a way to retire from the rat race, get better at being a strategic person who can do some real collaboration with folks who can create success stories. If you can get some of the funding, that would be the first place to start. You can't throw money at this problem, but it doesn't hurt.
No, I'm more strategically trying to make sure that we get it done correctly in terms of how we do it. Our students need time. That's one of the biggest issues. And to be perfectly honest, I and some of our other advisors we talked have all agreed our real problem isn't going to come from the private sector and growing this business. Our biggest problem is going to come from the educational institutions, especially.
How so?
Well, as you know, learning disabled students need time to go through their process of learning what exactly is their problem? What is their not problem?
Your disability.
Disability. What is their disability? How do they cope with their disability? How are they going to use their disability? And then they have to know when they go through that process, especially our students who will still have the growing pains of the average students. Emotional issues.
How much time do you have? I want you to meet this person. She's with the Department of Apprenticeship Standards in the state of California, but she's also works for something called the DOR. Have you heard of the DOR?
DOR, I think the Department of
Rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with what they do?
Yeah.
Or what they're supposed to do?
Yeah.
So they were at the Skirball, huh?
Mm-hmm. They were at the Skirball, but my son's got it's signed up for them over. They have an office off of Slauson.
Right. So they're supposed to be working hand in hand with the Department of Apprenticeship Standards to get young people to independent living. So if you can think about getting a person who has a disability, a learning, an invisible disability to independent living, that is our goal.
High function.
Okay, high functioning. Thank you. So if we can get, an individual and we can profile them and figure out how to reverse engineer what happened and how they got there, then we may be able to convince more people to be part of the process.
In that vein of reversing it, it's more now. If I'm not mistaken, the term now is not so much reversing it, but how to use it to harness it to improve, or use it to harness it to help you get through what you're trying to get to, whatever career you're trying to get into. So, for example, picking out the programs that are best suited for what your disability is. So our students, for example, when it comes to, and this is one of the reasons why Exceptional Minds has been so successful, their students are more geared towards very, very meticulous things. And they're very good at staying on top of it until it finishes. Two of their students got Academy Awards. Oh yes, Exceptional Minds has been on a long time.
Well, just as I mentioned to you, one of my best editors, I give him a really very simple storyboard of what it is that I want. I don't have to block out everything. And this guy takes this little storyboard, he looks at a 3-camera dump of files, and he can put together a story. that's better than any of my editors. I have to sit there and we have to stitch this stuff together.
How many editors do you have?
I have about 4 or 5, but he does what he does by himself. And he can't work with anybody else. He just knows how to do what he wants to do, and he just tells me what he needs in terms of information, and it comes out the other end. And I tell him, well, I need a few more things to punch up the audio here. I need something else there. Comes back in a couple hours, and it's rendered. It's done.
Okay. So
But he needs to know about this program because he needs encouragement.
I'm not sure. I have to talk to Tim and those guys over there because I'm not sure. I know they do visual effects, and I know they do.
That's what he wants to get
graphics,
involved with, is visual
and
effects.
I know they do animation, but I'm not sure how much in terms of how far in video production they go into.
Well, that's what he wants to do is visual effects. He doesn't want to shoot. He does
My
editing.
major is visual effects. As a matter of fact, the person that taught me over at when this school was existing, but taught me is now teaching over at Tim is supposed to be the head over there because he's the one that taught me my visual effects training.
Okay, so the most important thing I want to do now is not waste another second of your time. I want to figure out what I can do to plug you in, if you have time or energy, into what we're doing.
You can talk about it whenever.
Yeah.
You have my number
I got
there.
it.
I want to. I don't know what I meant to do. I got your number, but I didn't put the name down.
Yeah, Kevin Clark.
Kevin.
Yeah, I want to put a couple of links into your text messages around the idea of looking at our blogs because that's what our students do. That's what I do is blog everything we do with.
Is this one of your students that's here now?
Yeah,
Where
he
do you
just turned
locate?
20. We're virtual. We teach everybody at this point right now, man. We got to work as lean and mean as we can.
So how do you communicate? Do you use like Frame.io or how do you guys communicate?
Well, as far as
terms of
workflow right now,
projects, right?
we're going to think about Work.io. We think about,
Well, Frame.io is great. My concern right now, the way it is right now, from my understanding, is the client and everyone else has to have Frame.io for it to work. I have not invested fully into it yet, so I'm still working on it.
believe it or not, we just do old school, just we either do Teams or Zoom and we work to showcase what it is we're trying to get done or what we didn't get done.
Well,
but
Frame.io might not be the best way for you to do that because you can work on a project while you're talking to someone and everybody can see it.
yeah, but I'm actually interested in better workflow processes for them because right now, that's not my strong suit. My strong suit is to give them projects and see what we come up together.
You're similar to mine. I mean, I'd love to create, but I'm slowly realizing that I'm going to have to build a team and back off because my whole focus is to try and be the CEO of the
Yeah,
company.
well, I'm a marketing person.
Yeah.
So for me, the only thing I can think about is trying to get out of my way of learning processes and just be thinking about how I can leverage stuff.
Right.
Because if I can't do that, then I can't be any good to anybody.
Well, it's a good start. You got a red camera. That thing's expensive as hell.
Yeah. And well, they're part of our story because, we're trying to find American manufacturers. They're
Right.
the only people who manufacture stuff like this in the United States. So one of my clients is the Department of Defense.
Okay.
And so I do a lot of marketing film projects with them and their recruitment of civilian DoD employees. I mean, STEM education related folks, as well as I've done some stuff with African American military history.
Okay.
So, but I think,
You're a lot farther ahead than I am.
well, no, I mean the thing that's it's interesting. All these things are coming together, so fragmented, so disconnected. The only place they were connected was in my mind, because that's how my mind works.
Right.
And nobody saw how I was going to connect all these pieces.
Okay.
So I might be on the spectrum as far.
You'd be surprised how many people are on the spectrum. What's the
Kevin Clark, KVIN.
No, I have that. But
Dakar, DAKAR.
You said D or A?
D. D as in David. AKAR.
Okay.
Foundation, and if you want to look at the website, it's not much right now. Just like you, I'm trying to get that together.
You know what? Why does this sound familiar?
Yeah, the website is dakarpathway.org.
Okay, but I know this name.
Yeah, we've
What is
only
it now?
done
What is it?
DAKAR pathway.org. dakarpathway.org. So I've got about 5 or 6 different sites, but this is the one where we're trying to, well, it's going to be overhauled by this time next week. It'll pretty much put these 5 events that I'm talking to you about into.
So the website is called New Horizons Institute. No, the company's going to do it right. So the website is called teachtosucceed.org.
Teach to Succeed.
And it's another one. But you'll see who's behind in terms of the advisors and the board of directors and things of that nature. I don't have a card, but I'll ask Larry to
No,
write it down.
once we finish doing this, I will send you a one sheet that kind of connects a little
Okay.
of the things I'm going to prepare you for if you're available. The week of the 22nd and 24th are two events that I'd like to try to harness all your focus on being there to see what it is we're trying to do, because we're actually going to produce an event series, but we're also going to document everything that happened as an unscripted reality show.
Okay.
So try to interview people, but also just to see these kids working. Oh, yeah. Well, we're gonna try and do our best to get me out of the way.
I'm sure this gentleman's eager for that to happen.
Yeah, he came from a great program called Delete the Divide with the county that teaches everybody about ICT, about information technology and cybersecurity.
Okay.
So they're learning a lot about the backbone and how to protect it and everything. But he wanted to be a creative.
I was talking to somebody not too long ago about that whole issue. They were thinking, my neighbor, as a matter of fact, he was thinking, I want to put some cameras in the house. I said, no, dude, you don't put cameras in your house. Don't put cameras in your house. These companies don't invest enough in their security to do that. It's easy.
Man, you're protecting your privacy and all your assets. I mean, it's almost impossible now. Anybody who wants to get your stuff can get it.
but don't make it easier for them. Don't open the door, for Christ's sake.
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay. They make a monitor.
They collab with Red Mill.
Oh, they do. How much is this?
2,500.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I'm
this
gonna
is.
start small and work my way up.
Yeah, well, just like I said, when I send you the one sheet, tell me what your needs are, and see if we can figure out how to collab on some projects with some stuff, hardware, software.
We're definitely working on that, because the goal of Solid Gray Inc., which is the card I gave you, is to eventually work with New Horizons Institute and do an intern program for learning disabled people and have that built into.
How do you source them? How do you find them? Your clients.
My clients that I currently get is just
word of mouth. Yep.
People know what I do and what I've done in the past, and like us.
Know the real.
That's how I
Okay.
built Larry. I think we ran into. I don't know how long we've been on Larry for a while.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes, sir.
Man, well, that's the way that I've done most of my collaboration, is just meeting the right people, the right spirit at the right time.
Right.
Yeah, because otherwise, just like I said, none of this stuff was going to happen unless you have the right personalities.
Yeah, you have to have the right people. That's one of the biggest issues. I was talking to a friend of mine my wife's cousin, who runs Shades of Color, which is the company that does. I know you've probably seen them around. You probably just don't know they exist, but they're around. He has all of the black calendars and all of the
Shades of Color?
calendars. He did
I've heard
the Obama calendar, and he did the cups and the mugs and he did the calendar for the same artist that. I'm going to date myself. You know the Good Times and the paintings that he was doing?
Yeah. We forgot
Those
that guy's name.
paintings. Okay, so he did the calendar for that and a bunch of other stuff. He's done bags and everything else, but he's known. His company's known throughout.
Man.
And so he and I are talking. We'll probably see each other not too in a couple of days because he's out of town, but. He was saying the same thing. He said, "Man, it's so hard finding partners and getting the right people to work together." Man.
Well, one of our topics will be about why I think people have had such a difficult time in LA County, especially collaborating. Everybody believes we're in competition for each other for our lives,
Right.
and I don't think anybody's ever learned how to break that code.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm trying to do it every day, but it's not worked for me until now.
All right.
Because when you put these guys in front, people generally don't.
Well, his age group,
Yeah.
they're not as they don't have the baggage we have.
No,
going over to it, so.
everything I'm doing is really to give these guys economic opportunity. So
Right.
when I talk about me, they're like, well, I'm not helping you, but I mean, you know, I got one like this, so you know, we can collab. That's really what the story is.
Right.
So,
exactly.
yeah.
It's an important thing to have, but it's also important that they recognize and understand that. So I mean, so I look forward to talking with you more about it.
Well,
definitely meeting this gentleman, see what he's all about.
yeah, we're going to we're going to give you more stuff than you can digest, but you know, take what you can, pick what you can.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Okay.
So it's just the same size as the GI
Micro.
micro.
SD.
Thank God. I don't have to buy another dime. All right, let me go. I have
Okay.
to look this stuff. I'm gonna go walk over here. I'm not going to. I'm
All
gonna
right.
be here for a couple of minutes, so you can talk. We can talk further.
Okay.
And talk more about what we're going to do and stuff.
All right, thanks, bro.
Okay.